Hello, lovely people. Before we get into today's episode, I just wanted to take a little bit of time to say thank you. Thank you to all of you who have given these a listen so far, and to those of you who have offered us some kind words of encouragement about it. Thanks, we really appreciate it. And we also wanted to let you know that we are now on Apple Podcasts. So if you are an Apple user, and that is where you listen to these things, we'd really appreciate if you could open up your podcast app, type in the Parenting NI podcast. When that comes up, click on it and you should see a little subscribe button. Hit that button too, and that means you get a notification each month whenever we put a new episode up. So you've got a new one to listen to, that'll let you know. And then after you've listened to the episode and you love it, because why wouldn't you? If you could also give us a wee rating and a review, that would be awesome. That really helps with the visibility of it and helps other people find it. So yeah, we'd really appreciate if you could do that. Subscribe, rate, review. You're legends. Cheers. Enjoy today's episode. Bye. Hi everyone, welcome along to this month's Parenting NI podcast. I'm Emma, and today we're going to be focusing on mums because it is Mother's Day today, so happy Mother's Day. Hopefully you're all enjoying your day and have lots of fun things planned with the kids. And the reason that we have decided to focus on mums, besides it being Mother's Day, is that this week we held a special event in Belfast Castle for busy mums juggling both work and parenting. So women make up half of the working age population in Northern Ireland. 65% of those women are employed and 39% of those work part-time. Some mothers will choose to work or work less hours whilst raising their family, but for many they effectively have little or no choice as they need to work in order to support their families. In 1984, 49% agreed with the statement, a man's job is to earn money, a woman's job is to look after the home and family. And in 2017, just 8% of respondents agreed with that statement. So that would suggest that there has been a bit of a societal shift, and people have begun to see mothers working as the norm, in quotation marks. Yet many mums do worry about returning to work after having a baby and the impact that them working would have on their children. In today's society, everyone is trying to obtain that elusive work-life balance. Mums have the double pressure of managing their career and the home and family. So whilst there does seem to have been that societal shift, research does show that the majority of childcare and housework is still undertaken by women. So that's why we thought that mums deserve to have a wee treat this week. The special event that we held on Thursday past is offered as part of our employee wellbeing service, and today I am joined by Maeve, who looks after this area of work. Hi Maeve.
Hi Emma.
How are you?
Great.
Good times. So Maeve, could you tell us a wee bit about the event that happened this week?
Yeah, Emma, we were all really excited to have the mums event this week, and as usual it didn't disappoint.
Yeah.
So it was in the Belfast Castle and it was in the format of afternoon tea, and we had 100 women.
Wow.
All working mums. And we just all got together, and it was an opportunity to chat and to network and just celebrate mums in their roles as working mums, and as you say, also in their role of parents.
Yeah, happy days.
We had 3 guest speakers, which was lovely. We had Lauren Spears, who's our parenting consultant, and she was chatting about some of the common issues that face working mums and was able to offer a lot of support and advice on how to avoid bringing unnecessary stress home from work and vice versa. And in addition to that, then we had Dr. Lisa Nelligan. She's from Kingsbridge Private Hospital, and Kingsbridge were our sponsors of the event, so that was great, and we're very grateful to them. And Dr. Lisa Nelligan was exploring the physical impact stress can have on working mums and how best to look after your health. We then had Jenny Wallace, and Jenny is the general manager of Beyond Skin in Belfast, and she was talking about her experience of setting up her own business after becoming a parent for the first time. And then we had Kula Yasuma. She is the Northern Ireland Children's Commissioner, and we were lucky to have her open our event. And she talked to us a little bit about children's rights and her own experience as well as a working mum. So it was really great and really good fun.
Brilliant. So tell us a wee bit more as well, Maeve, about the Employee Wellbeing Service. What can Parenting NI offer employers to help them support their working parents?
Okay, well we have a series of employee wellbeing seminars, and we set those up to offer to our corporate clients to help them support their working parents. And we came up with the 12 topics because an awful lot of the parents that we would be talking to and practitioners that we'd be speaking to were feeding back that these were the areas and the topics that parents were most wanting help with. So we have 12 at the moment. We have being an effective parent, things like work-life balance, digital parenting, parents and child's emotional well-being, and many others. And we really find that they're very, very popular with our corporate clients, and that the feedback from the parents has been great, because our trainer offers them a lot of hints and tips and advice that can very often unlock situations at home, and maybe just that parents haven't thought of because they are so busy. And we have had feedback that parents have gone home and put some of those into practice, and they've really worked for them. So we're delighted to be able to offer that to our corporate clients as well.
Yeah, fantastic. And I suppose my next question kind of feeds in a little bit to what you're talking about there in terms of the benefits for employers. So if employers were maybe thinking about bringing this into their workplace, what sort of benefits would there be for them having our seminars and support in the workplace for their parent employees?
Yes, well, it's very interesting, Emma, actually, because what they're actually doing is they're essentially showing their employees that they're valued, and that other very, very important, and probably most important, in fact it is the most important side of their life.
Most important job in the world.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So they're kind of letting their parents know that they appreciate that, and that they want to support them with that. So, but what we're also finding as well is with this help and support, we're finding that there is increased staff confidence. People are finding out that they're in the same boat, they're getting together, they're hearing some great information and advice, and they're able to realise, oh look, we're all in the same boat here, and there are things we could do, and they're really grateful to their employee for helping them in this way. But also, because of some of the advice that are contained in the seminars, companies can expect increased staff productivity, less absenteeism because people feel supported in their workplace and a lot more confident, and just generally better staff morale. So that can be some of the outcomes from these.
That makes sense, doesn't it? Because if they're coming into work not as stressed because the child's been kicking off in the morning when they're trying to get out the door or whatever, they're not carrying that back into work. So if they're happy at home, they're happy at work, which is all the benefits for the employers.
So it's kind of win-win all round.
Happy days.
And of course we're also very, very grateful to them because obviously they're supporting our charity as well.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
We're really delighted with the service.
Yeah, no, it's great because, as you say, that support then helps us with our other, charitable services that we offer here in Parenting NI.
Yes.
That's great. Thanks for having a chat with me today, Maeve. That's brilliant.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks very much for letting me talk to you.
And if anyone here listening to this today is thinking that they would like to get in touch with Maeve and have a bit of a chat about our employee wellbeing seminars, you can do that. You can contact us on the office line here on 02890 310 891, or check out our website as well at parentingni.org. You'll find all the details of the 12 seminars that Maeve was talking about there. You'll find the details about that and other services that we can also offer. Now, maybe you didn't get a chance to attend the event this week. Well, fear not, because we have a couple of interviews with some of the speakers who attended the event to give you a bit of insight into the kind of things that they were sharing with attendees. So I'm joined with Lauren here now, who is a parenting expert, shall we say. She has just spoken at our Working Mums event 2019. Lauren was giving us a bit of a presentation about different parenting styles. So Lauren, I'm going to ask you a question that we had in from a listener who wanted to know basically how you get a good work-life balance as a busy working mum. And I suppose a lot of the stuff that you were talking about to do with parenting styles feeds into that.
Yes, so what the research says about being that effective parent and having that work-life balance is that parents should be this authoritative parent. And what an authoritative parent encompasses is 4 things. The first, in that they have that warmth and that love and that trust for your children. And that can be very difficult for some parents, especially of teenagers who maybe struggle to have that communication with their teens at that age. And also if you have one child who is quite affectionate and another one who's not. So how you get across that love and that affection is crucial. Second thing with an authoritative parent is that you have those rules, those boundaries and those consequences. So the research says that you should have 5 or 6 clear rules, and then linked to the third part of being an authoritative parent, that you set those expectations and standards for behaviour. And all that means is that you have a conversation with your children about what those rules are in your home. So if you're having a conversation in the car on the way to school or around the dinner room table, that your children know what's expected of them. So those rules go a long way in making your children feel safe. They indirectly make them feel like somebody cares about them. If it makes you feel any better when you're setting your rules. Please don't overthink rules. Rules for you as a parent might be that your children brush their teeth before they go to bed, or do their homework when they come in from school, or come in at a certain time. Rules are very unique to your family as a whole. The last part of an authoritative parent, and fits very nicely into having that healthy work-life balance, is that your role is one of absolute reassurance and support, that you have that communication with your children, that you have that negotiation, that compromise, and that is learned behaviour. So if you go that little bit further for your children, you get that in return. So that compromise is key. So 2 things with that authoritative parent: that the foundation is your rules and your consequences, and then that your relationship with your child is one of reassurance and support.
Brilliant. Okay, so really the message is, if you're that authoritative parent in the home, then that'll really stop that stress spillover in the home when you go into work.
And again, your work-life balance feeds into that, because if you have had a bad day at work or are tired, then you're less likely to be that authoritative parent, hence why it's so important that you have a healthy work-life balance. You will do one of 2 things. You will become that parent who gives in, or you will flip to the opposite and you will come down quite hard on your children. So think about whether you're that authoritative parent and whether you have that healthy work-life balance that encourages you to be that type of parent.
Okay, thanks very much, Lauren, for having a chat with me. So I'm delighted to have Jenny Wallace with me today. Jenny and I go well back. Used to work with Jenny, and she's joined us today for our Working Mums event. Hi, Jenny. How are
Hi,
you?
nice to see you.
I know,
again.
good times. I know. So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with Beyond Skin?
Yeah, so I have been running Beyond Skin for nearly 3 years. It opened in July 2016. Just after the birth of my daughter in June 2016.
Wow.
So that's been a ride. It's been great. So I have 2 babies. I have my daughter and I have my business. But yeah, I've been doing that for about 3 years and loving it, enjoying life as an entrepreneur and a parent.
Fantastic. You have your hands full then?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So let's maybe think a little bit about the challenges then of being a working mum. Do you find that is something, juggling all these things, being a parent and being a businesswoman?
Yeah.
Are there any challenges that come along with that for you?
I think, yes, of course. I mean, anyone that is a parent knows that it's a difficult and impossible job. You're never going to get it right. You're going to mess it up. That is the way that it is.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
You are winging it. So
Yeah.
you constantly feel like you're failing.
Yeah.
But equally, every entrepreneur knows you don't know what you're doing. You're always winging it. You're overcoming problems every day. So to combine those 2 is like, it's the same skill set. So you can't win at anything.
Yeah.
So you can do 2 jobs really badly. No. Obviously, I do both jobs amazingly well. But yeah, they are both great things to do, and they give you loads of pleasure, but they both give you loads of headaches. Balancing the 2. Is it possible? Yeah, I think it probably is.
Yeah.
Somehow, people can be better at it than others. But yeah, it's an interesting mix. I suppose for me, making the decision to set up a business so close to the birth of my first child was a little bit crazy. It was the option that I had at the time, and not a lot of people would necessarily choose to go down that route. But so I've had a slightly different journey to most people. I think the way a lot of people do it, which is probably more sensible, is to be settled in one part of your life and then start a new journey in another part. So maybe your kids are a little bit older and you have a bit more time, so you think, okay, now it's time for me to start a business. Or you've already established yourself in business or in your career and you think, okay, now it's time to start a family. That's probably a more manageable way to do it. It's probably the way I would recommend to do it.
So do you have any tips then for maybe other busy working mums and how you juggle that or get that balance?
I mean, I think the way that I have found balance is to manage my expectations of what I want my life to be. So I thought really hard about, and I made some decisions about actually the things that are important to me, what's important in my life. And when I was pregnant and setting up the business and thinking about the way I wanted my life to be and the way I wanted to live my life, it was like, okay, well, let's think about actually what's important in my life or what's important in my week. What are the things that I need to do to stay happy? So one of the things that was important to me was breastfeeding. So I wanted to make sure I was able to do that for my daughter and for me. So that was one of the core kind of important things. One of the other things that is important is being able to pay my mortgage and put food on the table. So making enough money so that I can do that. That's about it. Like, there's not much I need in my life. A lot of the stuff that used to be important to me, like going for a pint on a Friday or buying a new pair of shoes or whatever, these things aren't important. I think if I had expectations in my life that I needed to be out every Friday night and I needed to be going to Marbella 3 times a year, I wouldn't have a happy life because I wouldn't be happy because I would be unfulfilled. And it's not to say that I don't have dreams and ambitions, but I think the things that make me happy are different.
Of course.
So I've changed my lifestyle in a way that works
to fit with that. What
for
works
me.
for you and your family. Yeah, absolutely.
So the things that are important are still important and they happen, but the things that aren't important anymore, that I don't get bothered by them. So I'm happier in that sense.
And you're also in a slightly unique position. Something we talk about at the start of this episode is that there is still this societal belief. There has been a slight shift, but there is this belief that, you know, kind of a woman's place is in the home, looking after the family. Where there has been a bit of a shift where it's now kind of the norm, in inverted commas, to see women out in the workplace because, as you say, a lot of us don't have a choice. We need to pay the mortgage, we need to pay the bills. But your husband is a stay-at-home dad, which is nice too. That's a nice kind of.
It is, but that was a decision that we took together to do when we were in the position we were in. The best option at the time was just for me to start this. I say us. We started this business. It is my business, but I couldn't do it without his support. It made more sense for him to quit his job and be home and be there with our daughter, you know, 24 hours a day, and allow me to set up the business. I mean, in saying that, he doesn't have boobs, so the breastfeeding part of our lifestyle, he couldn't fulfill that need. So I'm still involved in the raising of my daughter, obviously, but so we manage it and we share our parenting responsibilities. Our lifestyle works for us. It wouldn't work for everybody, but it works because we're a team and we know what's important and we make sure we hit all of that.
That's important. It's what works for you.
But I mean, having a supportive husband who said, of course I'll be the primary caregiver. You know, he wasn't fazed by that. Some men would be. Still in this day and age, they shouldn't be. But he gets it. You know, when he takes our daughter out to events or whatever, and is at the parent and talks groups, and people go, "Oh, you're such a good dad. Oh, you're so good to spend time with your daughter." It's like, no, I'm a parent.
He is
it's
your
not
dad.
babysitting. It's not a really good thing. It's the basic. It's like that's the basic number one thing you have to do is look after your child. It's not anything special or wonderful.
No,
like
just because he's a man,
it's just
not
parenting.
any different. Absolutely, no.
So he's breaking down that in a very.
Barrier,
I mean, it's just normalising it really.
Absolutely.
And we've come across other stay-at-home dads, and it's great when you meet another one. You're like, oh yeah, another stay-at-home dad.
A wee club.
I know.
So, if you could change one thing for women in the workplace, particularly working mums, I guess, What would that be? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I suppose for me, because of the other side of what I do with my work with Breastival, the big thing I would change would be to have more support and normalisation of breastfeeding and allowing mothers to continue to breastfeed when they're working.
Yeah.
It is getting better slowly, it is changing, but Northern Ireland still has the lowest breastfeeding rate in the world. And part of that reason, I mean, it's a cultural thing, but a lot of women feel that they have to give up breastfeeding when they go back to work, or they have to wean their child so they can get back to work, and they don't. They just need to be better supported. And there's lots of different ways to do it. So that would be one thing that I would change. I suppose would be, I wouldn't want women to have to make the choice of working or breastfeeding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or working or mothering, or you can have it all, but not maybe all at the same time. And you can have all if all that you want is manageable, you can have it.
Absolutely. And noticed as well, you just mentioned Breastival there, maybe give it a wee shout out. Is it?
It's
Do you
back.
have the dates for next year? Oh, happy days.
It's the 3rd of August, the first Saturday in August every year. So we're coming into our 3rd year of Breastival. So we're the biggest, the only festival that celebrates and normalise breastfeeding in Ireland, in Northern Ireland. It's a great, amazing organisation.
Yeah, it's a fantastic event. You should
fantastic
check it out
event.
because we've attended the past 2 years and really, really enjoyed it. And there's lots of families there. It's brilliant. So you can check them out.
It's not just for mothers. It is for families and supporters and grandparents and
everyone.
All kinds of lots of information for and part of one of the things we cover every year is that thing of working mothers. How do you continue to breastfeed? How do you do it? What are the options? How can you support your employer? What do they need to know? And we can help pinpoint or direct people to where they can get information. They can give policies to their employer. They can tell them about the legislation. So we're trying to help that
do that too,
to get better.
That's fantastic. So make sure you check out Breastival online. Do you feel guilt as a working mum?
Yes. There's no point in sugarcoating that. Everybody, because, well, as I said in the beginning, you fail every day. Every day you do something wrong. Every day you don't get it right. So of course you feel guilty, because when I'm at work, I'm not with my daughter. But when I'm with my daughter, that I'm not putting energy into my business and my future and our financial security. So at every point you're failing, but it's at some point you have to accept that and go, I'm not perfect, but I'm doing the best that I can do in my circumstances, and I can give myself a break. Now, I do often beat myself up about it, but I try not to, and I'm doing that less and less as I become more accepting of the fact that I am doing the best I can, and I'm not perfect, but nobody is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but that guilt is there for everybody.
Absolutely. So, finally, do you have any de-stress tips?
De-stress tips. Well, I recently went on holiday, and that was nice. It's not something we do often. I find it hard to switch off. But when what I did was turn the notifications off on my phone and try to not look at my phone. That's probably a really small tip, but for me that worked, to not have a constant beep or constant, and it's even something as stupid as looking at Facebook or Instagram. If you can not do that, not compare yourself, not look at what you don't have, not look at emails. So that, for me, is my new tip, is turn off notifications. It is a bit hard, but I did find it hard. But I did it, and it did work.
Happy days. That's great. Thanks for talking to me today,
problem.
Jenny. Thank you. Delighted to be joined by Dr. Lisa Nelligan. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi. How are you? Thanks for having me today.
Yeah. I was wondering if you could just tell me a little bit about yourself, your background, and your job.
Well, my name is Dr. Nelligan, and I have been a GP for 15 years. I'm a working mum of 4. My kids range in age from 9 to 8 months old, so it's very busy. Chaotic household, but organised.
So, how do you yourself achieve that work-life balance, balancing being a career person and a mum?
Well, I think the key is that I obviously enjoy both roles. Being organised is the most important thing. So having a diary, planning your time, and setting your priorities. So also having good childcare is the cornerstone of my success in getting from A to B, and just knowing what the signs of stress are and when I need to relax and taking that time out to relax. Usually relaxing for me would mean reading a good book or going to the gym and taking a bit of time out, maybe going for a meal with my husband, or even carving out some time to do something special with the kids. Even going for a walk, chatting to the kids, that can be a great stress reliever as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So that would maybe be some of your de-stress tips then
Yes.
for some other mums who are looking for maybe a way to kind of decompress after a busy working day.
It's finding out what works for you. So what you find relaxing. Some people will find going to the gym, others will find going for a run, mindfulness techniques, meditation, reading, spending time with family or friends. If you're feeling stressed, getting that bit of extra support and help, talking to people, and just knowing what your triggers are, and identifying them early and taking steps to deal with them and try and avoid stress.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for talking to us today, Lisa, and for being a guest at our event.
No problem, it's a pleasure.
Thank you. And we also like to say thank you to Kingsbridge Private Hospital, as they were our main sponsors of the event today, so it was fantastic to have them along. Thank you very much. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of a flavour of the kind of things that were being discussed at our Working Mums event that took place this week. Apologies for maybe some of the sound on it, because we were recording whilst everyone was having chats and things, so maybe a little bit noisy in the background, but hopefully you still got some of the takeaway messages from it. And if you're interested in finding out a little bit more on this topic, maybe you'd like to know a little bit about research and what the research says about working mums and the impact that it has on their children, visit our website. Chris, who you'll remember from last month's podcast, he has uploaded a new article on working mothers. So yeah, go and check it out. It's in the news section and have a wee read through it. Also, before we wrap this up for this month, I just wanted to let you know about some programs and workshops that we have coming up. Actually, the first of which being one that takes place Wednesday coming here, so Wednesday the 3rd of April, and it's the Dad's Project's Daddy Matters workshop. That's going to be taking place in Cara House in Twinbrook from 6 to 8 p.m. On Wednesday, and that workshop looks at the challenges of fatherhood, how dads influence their child's development and outcomes, as well as understanding how to be an active dad. So yep, a nice wee workshop for all the dads out there. You can call free phone 0808 8010 722 to register for that programme. And we've got the Odyssey Parenting Your Team programme returning to Belfast and Derry in May, along with the Walking on Eggshells programme, which will be in Belfast as well in May. So keep an eye on our website for the details of that. If you visit the parents section, you'll find the programme calendar in there, and it'll give you all the details of the programs, as well as how to register and where they'll be and what times and things like that. So that's it for this episode. Thanks again for listening, and happy Mother's Day again. We hope you're all enjoying your day, and yes, we'll see you back here next month for an episode about reading and the benefits of reading with your children. So yeah, you can look forward to that, and we'll catch you then. Thanks, bye.